There's no one, just me ornery, sitting on my little throne. I work very hard and make up great friends. Nobody listens, no one understands. Seems like no one takes me seriously. So, I'm rolling.
Well, when I first started out in photography, I did not have a clue as to how to use a strobe.
Pour it on me. There's nobody I can re-rate to. Feel like a bird in a cage. It's kind of cheery, but not really. Cause it's fearing my body with rage. I'm the world's most athletic, most physically fit, but nobody else seems to realize it. When I change the world, maybe they'll notice me. But until then, I just be ornery. Yeah, rid of ornery. Pour it on me. I'm so ornery.
Now that's a franchise I'd watch.
There's a part of you that the normies fear. You know the truth is what you see. So we welcome you to the home of geeks. Of the oddball, the neglected, the outcast, the rejected. We're all here to celebrate. There's no need to be a packlet. We've done away with all the hatred. Every show you love is here. So kick back and grab a beer. There's plenty of discussion, no agenda that we're pushing. We're just here to celebrate and track race. Rebels in the wondrous and strange. Whenever we are here, we see clear. There's no fear. It's pretty steady. Every nerd has a voice to be heard. But here everyone's a third. We are a sci-fi menagerie. We've got every alien from A to Z. We know this is where you want to be. We're the greatest channel in the galaxy. And decorate. Rebels in the 1% strange. Whenever we are here, we see clear. There's no fear. Pretty steady. Every nerd has a voice to be heard. 'Cause here everyone's a third. A third. Oh yeah. A third.
Hey guys,
Make sure I'm unmuted. Yes, I am. Michael J. Crawford, the Anti-Trucker here. Good to see you all. And so, yeah, it's official. The Snyder Cut is going to hit HBO next year. So, yeah, we got a little ways to wait. But the 4-hour Snyder's Cut of Justice League is apparently actually going to happen. And, you know, the funny thing is, it's like, I'm mixed on it because Justice League was such a mess. If it turns out that the Snyder's Cut was actually good, then Warner Brothers, what the hell were you thinking? If the Snyder Cut turns out to suck, I'm still going to say, Warner Brothers, what the hell were you thinking? Because I really doubt it could be any worse than what they actually released. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what Snyder's vision supposedly was. And so I think that that'll be interesting. I do think that while the character of Superman was a little bit of a misstep, I actually like the Snyder universe overall. And I think it's too bad that Warner Brothers just kind of screwed the pooch there. Anyway, Resolute Germ was first in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Jeff is here. Mike Richards is here from Columbus, Ohio. As always, Multi-Gun Man says, live long, Kuroga, down with Turtistan. Man. Jeff then says, hi to Resolute. Bradley saying, zup, y'all. And let's see here. Multi-Gun Man says, hi, Anti-Trucker. Hey, Anti-Trucker, how's it going? Well, you know, if you stop trying to talk about, you know, hey, Kuroga, yay. Kuroga sucks, man. Get it into your head. Your leader literally can't drive, can't fly, crashes everything, enslaves children. Yeah, anyway. I'm not going to even talk about what your leader does to beagles. That's not even funny. But anyway, love the intro music. I do too. Continuum. I think it's awesome. Multi-Gun Man says, don't be jealous. Join us in the winning team. I am on the winning team. You need to realize that. And Valor throws in $5. Thank you so much, Valor. I do appreciate it. And I don't know if the system's going to recognize it or not because it's been weird today. My Streamlabs dashboard yesterday couldn't see super chats for some reason. Still can't figure out why that was happening, but anyway, but Valor oh, there it is. That's working today. So whatever. See if it'll read it. No, it's not reading it. All right, let me see if I can fix that. But Valor says, I had the first super chat. Leave it up to the chat to vote for the super chat. So there you go. Consensus wins. What do you guys want for the super chat? And while you guys argue amongst yourselves, I'm going to go in here and change the settings so that our disembodied friend can read everything. Let's go to super chats and text to speech and enable and save. And now let's go to donations and text to speech and enable and save. All right, so it should work this time. We'll see. And go back here. All right. So hopefully next super chat, our disembodied friend will read it. In the meantime, let me get back over here and see what's going on here. So Mike wants number 23. SC wants number 23. Sean wants 20. Okay, well, it looks like that's pretty obvious. So we're going to go with good old Spinning Spock. Yes. All right, so back to the chat we go. Let's see. Anti-Trucker, I have a friend who found some Star Trek figures that are old. He asks, what would be the value? Well, honestly, that's hard to appraise. It depends on the condition of the action figures. When it says old, some people think old means 5 years old. Some people think old means like 1970s. Obviously, if we're talking 1970s, you're looking at probably a higher value than if it's something that was much later. But really, it comes down to what is somebody willing to pay for it. You know, and that would depend on what figure it is and all that. I mean, yeah. Jeff says, yeah, no kidding. Oh, probably because I said don't go outside because it's hailing at Jeff's place. So yes, absolutely, Jeff. Do not do anything stupid. But I know you won't. Resolute says, I believe it when it happens. I'm with you. I understand that, but as far as my understanding is, this came straight from HBO, that they're using it as a marketing ploy right now, that they're going to have the Snyder Cut in 2021. So we'll see. Jolan True says, Sean, hey. Commander Shran says hello. Multi-Gunman says, those Turtistani children chose to be slaves. I mean, laborers in the Kurogan coal mines. See, and that's just the kind of sick, twisted attitude that I would expect from a Kurogan. If the Snyder Cut has more Superman without his memory, maybe in the black suit with long hair and a beard, I'll be happy. I don't care about the long hair and beard and black suit as much as I just want it to be good, right? And we'll see. I will definitely watch it, but I'm not necessarily, I'm not expecting much, but I would expect it to be better than the train wreck that they released because, oh man, that Justice League movie was painful to watch. And Malachi says, thank you, just wanted your thoughts. No problem. And that's the problem with that, something like that, is that with any kind of collectible, it boils down to how badly does someone else want it, and depending on what you're talking about, if you're talking about a first run set of like Kirk, Spock, Uhura, Scotty, the whole 9 yards, then yeah, you might be able to get a few bucks for those. If you're looking at an action figure of Michael Burnham, yeah, good luck. So it just depends. And so I don't know what old is. MC says, good evening. How you doing? Darren Wagner says, so I watched your member stream related to find the idea of your next, and I find the idea of your next ship to be very interesting. I thought you would appreciate that. The idea of basically a ship as a countermeasure to the Romulans. And so that's, I think, going to be really cool. But that's going to be a tough one to make design and make it feel like it belongs in the Trek universe enough, if that makes any kind of sense. But it's an anti-stealth ship, basically. Or what you might call Starfleet AWACS. So I think it'll be cool. Speaking of which, I am still working on... it's so funny. I have like all these little partial prints and failed prints of the Wrangler class ship all over the place, including now I wanted to see how big could I make the thing. Now keep it, obviously the warp nacelles aren't on this, but this is one on a stand. You can see it actually. There's Wrangler's class light missile corvette, and that's pretty hefty size there, almost as big as like the XL models from Eagle Moss. And so just kind of playing around with that, but I'm also trying to get the stupid nacelles to work properly, and that's what's on the printer right now is a test run of the nacelles, and if it works, I'm going to be very, very, very happy. If it doesn't work, I'm not. So, I assume this next ship is TOS era post Balance of Terror. Yeah, it would be shortly after Balance of Terror, because it would have to be in order to be an anti-cloak ship, unless you consider the Klingon cloak threat from Discovery. Darren, what do you think about the space Nazi ship from the original Battlestar Galactica series? It was submarine-like. Oh, that's a good question. Man, I forgot about that ship. I tried to remember what they were. I think they were called Terrans, right? Let's see. So I think they were called the Terrans in the show, but I don't know if I can find a picture of it. I wish I remember. Anybody remember what the name of the episode was that they appeared in? That might make it easier to find. Oh, and you never saw that? Man, yeah, we got to find it for you then. Does anybody know the name of that episode? If you do, definitely let me know so that I can find it and show it off to Darren. Because if it's, I'm trying to remember, but I think it might be one that Darren would like if it's the one I'm thinking of. Which is, you know, kind of a silly statement, but yeah. And no. Let's see. Balance of Terror, still the best of both worlds. No, not helping. Not freaking helping. Wow. Oh, good. And so ship is done with its next bake. And so what I've been working on. So here is the main hull of the Wrangler class, almost done. I've been fusing the different parts together to make it into a solid unified piece. The part I just did is that, so I can get rid of that. And then I believe I only have one more part that I have to fuse, and that's the bridge module itself, I believe. Maybe not. Wow, where is the bridge module? I don't see it. Oh, I still got like 3 modules left. Darn it. Alright, so we'll go to, where is cube number 15? Oh, okay, that's those bad boys right there. Alright. Let's see. If you get sick from handling that stuff without gloves, I'll never forgive you. Well, that's why as far as these, well, these are been under the UV light, so these are okay. These have been hardened under UV light, so they're not going to get you sick. You don't want to handle the uncooked resin, though, that's for sure. And Socrates donated $1. Wow, the Socrates? And except that now the voice isn't working again. Let me double check the settings. Hold on. We'll go to the donations. I'll be right there. Let me go to alert box and donations and open text to speak. It says enabled. Why did it not work? Huh. I don't know why I didn't read it. Let me try. I'm going to try to force it to read it. Hold on. We go back to the main thing and we'll refresh that one. Because that was really weird.
Hello, world.
See if it works. I'm just basically telling it to send the alert again.
Thank you for introducing me to the principles of philosophy.
There we go. And Socrates, I know that a lot of people think I'm old, but I'm really not that old. Bird of Prey thinks it's Far Beyond the Stars. I will check that. Thank you, Bird. Is that the name of it? Is it? Let me try. BSC Far Stars. What are you doing, you jerk? That's the episode of DS9. Why are you messing? For some reason, I thought that was an actual BSG episode title, even though I should have known better. What was the name of that? It's episode 19, Experiment in... Let's see. BSG episode... let's go to episode list. Because if it is episode 19, that should help us. BSD, we need 1978 episode list. Alright. Greetings from Earth is the episode that you're thinking of. Let's see if that's it. Greetings from Earth. Yeah, that is what I see, the space German there. So let me see if I can find any images from it. Let's see. Battlestar Galactica from Earth, and then we go to images and see what we can find here. And man, hard to find. Well, that ship looks, I think that's the one, but it doesn't really look as, it kind of looks like a submarine with wings. I'm trying to find a better picture of it, but this is the only one I can really find. So it's the Eastern Alliance Destroyer is the actual ship. And, alright, so let me bring up, oh yeah, we're on the game screen there, so I'll bring it over here. So this is the actual ship. So you can see it, Darren. All right. And where were we? And thank you, Melfies, for spotting that for me. Yeah, late. My supervisor came back to work. First thing I did was hand a vacation for first week of June. Awesome. And Thomas puts in $1. Thank you, Thomas. I'm sure it's really you.
I'm giving away my Eagle Moss Starship collection. First person to super chat bird tomorrow gets them all, or my name isn't Thomas Pitts.
Wow, that's very generous of you. That is very, very generous of you. Kind of surprising, but very generous. Donnie says, hello, Michael. Sorry for all the delay. Now I'm back from my nap. Well, good to see you, Donnie. I was on Disney Plus this afternoon watching Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. It's in honor of its 40th anniversary. Well, me and Miss Sandtrick are still, we're still going through them all chronologically, so we won't get to Empire for a little while, because we'll probably finish Revenge of the Sith tonight, but then we have Solo, Rogue One, and the original Star Wars all before Empire, if we're watching them chronologically. And Darren says, did you think it looks like a submarine with wings? Well, you have to see the way it's filmed. It kind of gives that feel to it. But, yeah. And let's see. Cinnamon is in the house. Good to see you, Cinnamon. Hope you are hanging in there. I know that's been a rough week for you, my friend. So, but yeah, and Bernard Prey wants to know from Thomas if he can super chat himself to get the Eagle Moss collection. Good question. So we'll have to see what Thomas has to say to that. And Thomas says, "You will get my ships over my dead body," and number 22. Well, thank you, Thomas. So does that mean that you're leaving me your ships in your will, and that you're so I can just reach over your dead body and get them? In which case, I truly appreciate that. So, thank you, Thomas. I do appreciate it, my friend. And then Sci-Fi Sith Dan says, hello there, Anti-Tracker. Is the missus with you? Well, she's not in the room with me right now. However, if you're thinking about leaving an extraordinarily large super chat, I could probably talk her into coming upstairs. I'm just saying. Because I'm greedy and stuff. Hey, yo, just saw the Plinkett review of Star Trek Picard. It was great. I watched it. I thought it was good. I don't think it was one of his best. Don't get me wrong. Because, and this is typical of the Plinkett reviews. I get it. First of all, everything he says, you kind of have to take with a grain of salt a little bit, because it's meant first as absolute entertainment, second as a serious review. And so he will say things that I would be like, oh, no, there's an easy explanation for that. But the reason he's saying it is because it's funny, not because it's accurate. Which honestly kind of bothers me a little bit, because I get it. When he did the prequels, which is really what put Mr. Plinkett on the map, was back when he did the prequels review. And when he did the prequels reviews, it was easy because he could rip them to shreds and be completely accurate. And so when you get something like Picard, that's, you know, it's not great, but it's not the worst thing ever. You kind of gotta, you know, maybe stretch it a little bit to try and push how bad it really is. Yeah, Picard did misfire on all cylinders. That's how I would kind of describe it. I think that it was not the worst show ever, but man, it should have been a whole lot better. That being said, I don't think that it was as bad as Plinkett made it out to be, but I understand why that's what he has to do. Guy from Red Bag saying, hey-oh, or I already read that, says hi to Mrs. Antchecker. I don't think Mrs. Antchecker's in the chat, but if she is, I missed it, so if you are here, hey. Darren says, just had a birthday on Saturday, feeling a tad older now. I did not realize it was your birthday. Well, happy birthday, Darren. I hope that this year is at least COVID virus free. Because, yeah. And Mike says, if you're not turning 63, I don't want to hear it. Robert says, the original Battlestar Galactica played fast and loose with scientific principles. Also, a prime example is when the Galactica at one time went to light speed, but when they returned, ... something. Not sure what you mean. But, and Birdo Pray 5 donated $1. Wow, thank you, Bird.
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky!
Since Thomas is doing his will, can I have his socks and underwear?
So Bird of Prey. So Thomas, since I'm getting your Eagle Moss ships in your will, Bird wants to know if he can have your socks and underwear. So, wow, that was inspiring. I know, Darren. Sorry, I'm not feeling particularly inspirational today. The fleet pastime, normal time, not following Einstein's theory. Well, but here's the thing, Robert. I get that, but they, you know, first of all, yeah, a lot of television shows that deal with space don't do things accurately. I mean, time dilation is almost never a factor in any sci-fi show, even though it should be at any ships that can move at anywhere near the speed of light. Like, for example, a starship in Star Trek moving at full impulse should experience some serious time dilation. Keep in mind that we've seen the full impulse is as fast as about 3/4 light speed. And that is not warp drive. That is impulse power, which means that the ship is actually moving that fast, which means that time dilation should be a very real thing. But it's not. You should use your resin printer to print a Space 1999 Eagle transport. The Eagle had a lot of finer features like scaffolding, which the resin would do a good job detailing. You're right. I actually, man, I remember the first 3D model I ever built was actually an Eagle. And I need to find a good, if I can find a good 3D model of an Eagle, I will do that. And so, Sci-Fi Sis says, so how much money do we need to give for you to get your lovely wife up here to say hello and talk to us? Oh, I don't know. Let me ask her. Let's see. Because I don't think she's watching right now. So if she is watching right now, she'll probably text me before I even get the text to her. But let me see. Well, it helps if I'm not in. That's Skype. So, how much money to bribe you to come up and talk on my show? All right, so I just sent her a text. We'll see if she has her phone. And she's like, yeah. And Darren's saying, thanks. Time dilation happens a lot in Stargate. Do they do that in Stargate? Well, maybe it's because I haven't seen too much of the shows since they've gotten interplanetary ships. But but it seems, that would seem kind of weird if they do, but hey, why not? Mike Richard says, I experienced time dilation every time I was hospitalized. And Multi-Gunman says, where is that due to all the alcohol? Okay. Well, we do know the bird is constantly in a state of drunkenness, but that's beside the point. And let's see. So no answer yet. We'll keep that handy. Are you ever going to get done redesigning your goofy ship? Says number one. Yes, the design is done for this ship. What I'm trying to do now is make it so that I need to be able to do two things with it. Number one, I need to be able to make an effective 3D print of it in just a few parts. And the parts need to be able to fit into a, shipping box like this one. And so I basically redesigned a couple of pieces for that, and now I'm fusing the pieces together in Blender so that it will make an airtight piece to go on the printer. I'm testing, the warp nacelles are printing right now. They're about 3/4 of the way through their test print. And then hopefully after the show, I'll be able to see if that's going to work. Let's see. Yegi has a few good-looking 3D models of the eagle. Who is Yegi? I don't know who Yegi is. I assume is that like a YouTuber? In which case I would be, I assume, like, I know there's there's one YouTuber that I'm a patron supporter of his, just because in order to access his 3D models, you have to be a patron supporter, which I get it. That's not a bad idea, actually. So let's see. Yeah, when I search for Yegi, I'm not finding it, but I might have misspelt it. Let me see here. Where is it? Y-E-G-G-I. Yeah, that's what I put. All right, so let's see. So I'm not sure who Yegi is, Nightbreeze. Oh, it's a website. Okay. Is it just Yegi.com? In which case, we'll go there. Yeah, search engine. Oh, it's a search engine for 3D models. Gotcha. Let's see. Space, 1999. Wow. And, of course, it cut off the 1999 because why not? And I like it. It's got their ray gun. Well, it's kind of a variant of their ray gun. There's an eagle, but not a very good one. And let's see.
Hello, world.
Oh, and Bird of Prey donated another $1. Very nice. Thank you, Bird.
Great kid. Don't get cocky.
Signmychange.org petition to have the warp nacelles moved to the side of the ship. Hashtag save our sides.
Yeah, so Bird of Prey 5 wants the warp nacelles moved from the top and bottom of the ship to the sides so that when you fire your torpedoes, you will blow up your warp engines, because that's how smart Bird is. I was looking for various high-performance resins, and some can be used as ceramics. Some can also look like ABS or polycarbonate. Resin printing can make pretty strong parts. Oh, yeah. If you, for example, especially if you print in solid resin, which is what I want to do ultimately with some of these, like, let me see, I think I have, this ship here, this was a test print that I did. This ship is printed solid resin, which means it's not a hollowed out model. It is 100% solid. And I tell you, I could jump on this and it would not break. It's truly very, very strong. And you can even hear when I dropped it there, that's a solid piece. But the downside to printing solid resin is that's expensive. And that's why most of the time you hollow out your resin parts. And Bird of Prey donated another $1.
Great kid. Don't get cocky.
Oh, no.
I don't like it top and bottom because Freddy was top and Frank was bottom.
Bird is never going to live down the Freddy and Frank thing, I can tell. So, anyway. Oh, Bird. Oh, and let's see if that's Mrs. Anti-Checker. And she says, why? They were asking. All right, so back to the chat. Well, Miss Landchecker just wanted to know why I was asking, so I said because you guys were asking. So, but Madison, yeah, as far as the resins, I'm using Elegoo resin that's ABS based, and it makes some pretty solid parts. But like all resins, it's not cheap, and so and especially the really high performance resins are actually very, very expensive. For how long? Let's see. It is now, let's say, maybe about an hour. And let's see. Number one sci-fi says, so you mean you can't, you mean a 3D printer can't print it all at once? Well, yes and no. You can. For example, I'll show you. So this ship was printed all in one go, right? This printed all at once. However, it has a couple of minor problems. One is that the warp engines, it's kind of hard to see from there probably, but the warp engines are a little warped, for lack of a better term. And part of that is because it was during the printing process, while it's laying down the layers, it also had this extra weight causing a little bit of strain, and so it warped the shape of the object. That's fairly common. Another is just simple size, right? So let me see. What was and because on the size of a model is limited by the build volume, and so if you consider this is a much larger model than this, but notice lengthwise they're not that far off, and they both fill up the amount of space that the printer can use. And so you want to basically break it into pieces that you can assemble after the fact if you want to make the model a little bit larger than, say, if you were just not, I guess. So that makes sense. Tim says, my first ray gun. Indeed, I do. The ray guns from, let's see. Oh, hold on just a second.
Ray. And in Tasmania, they're all cousins. The cousins marrying each other. Tasmania is what you Americans would call Alabama or Mississippi, but that's all Tasmania. They're all effed up down there, and you think Foster's is Australian beer, but it's shit? No, we drink koala beer here.
Yes, Bird of Prey 5 drinks koala beer made from koalas. So, anyway, so because you demanded it, Mrs. Anti-Checker is here. Say hi.
Hi.
So she is tired, but she is here just for you. So you better super chat her, give her some money, and she'll read any super chat that you throw up there that she can, because she's just that nice. Yes, that's right, Auntie. Let's see. If you jump on it, you might hurt yourself. That is true, so I will refrain. Bird of Prey 5 does use asteroids to stop his ship, so blowing up the warp drive is par for the course. That is very true. Thomas says, without the Frank and Freddy, we never would have had you, son of a bitch anti-checker. Well, that's true, that's true. Oh my, says Mike Richards. Number one sci-fi says Yoda said size matters not. Oh, okay, well then I'll make sure to send you the smallest possible print. And Tiki says, stop playing with our toys. Well, this one's not quite, like the design of the ship has actually been modified a little bit since this one. But this one is a little closer to the final design. But yeah, and so there have been several generations of changes here. Guy from Redbank says hi to Mrs. Anti-Trekker.
Hello.
Number one sci-fi says, Miss Anti-Trekker, I can't hear. Can I hear a Mrs. Anti-Trekker story?
What is that? What kind of a story?
Whatever you want to tell. Like, Bird of Prey, Mama Prey sometimes tells a Mama Prey story where she just tells about something that happened to her that she thought was interesting.
I'll have to think of about that then.
Okay, so she'll work on a Mrs. Anti-Trekker story. Sci-Fi Sis says the real star of the show has arrived, and yet you haven't thrown in the super chats yet. I'm a little disappointed. You were all talking about bribing her, and okay, there we go. Night Breeze. Can you see it?
I can't hear. Should I?
Oh yeah, we'll wait for it to pop up on the screen here. Well, maybe it will, maybe it won't. We'll see. Let's see.
I don't even have it over here,
You don't have the chat up?
No, I do have the chat.
Okay. Number one sci-fi says, I saw Mrs. Anti-Trekker's face. Where did you see her face? Don't look over here.
I got him! Great hit! Don't get cocky!
Well,
Treats for Auntie and Mrs. Anti-Trekker's
okay,
choice.
so should I read it?
Yeah,
I
go
can
ahead.
See it. Treats for Auntie and Mrs. Anti-Trekker's choice.
So you get to choose a super chat.
Oh, we can do number 23.
Number 23, okay. Let's see. And Josh Street puts... We'll put on number 23 in a second. We'll wait for the thing to catch up here. Josh Street wants to be a jerk.
Well, I can see it, but I don't.
Yeah, I know. Just wait. It's almost done. It's the little thing
yeah.
is playing now.
I
I
can't
got
hear.
him! Great hit! Don't get cocky!
We demand only, smiling face with hearts, Mrs. Anti-Trekker, smiling face with hearts, no more old man.
Okay, all right.
We demand only Mrs. Anti-Trekker, no more old man. So yeah, apparently when you turned your chair, everybody saw my face.
Uh-oh. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, for just a split second, yeah, I can see that. You can see you in the background there. Although you can't, it's kind of blurry. You can't, it's not a very good, doesn't do you justice, that's for sure.
Okay, well that's good, I guess.
So, anyway, where were we? So number 23, let's put that on. 23. I do love that one. That's like, that's like the best. All right, so where were we? Tim says the missus should tell a story you don't want us to hear.
You want me to tell them something you don't want them to hear?
Well, as long as it's not too bad, don't want to ruin my channel or anything.
Well, I don't think it'll ruin your channel, but they'd sure make fun of you a lot.
Well, then, yeah, probably should. Whatever you're thinking of, no. And Nightbreed says, all hail Mrs. Anti-Trekker, queen of nerds and true queen of Turdistan. She is that indeed. Number one side said, when you turned your chair, I saw Mrs. Anti-Trekker's face. Yeah, that's Thomas sent me a picture of it. You can see her face for a second, but I will tell you that particular, because thank you, Thomas, for sending that to me, but it did not do her justice, so yeah. And let's see. Let's see. When you revealed her for a second, your kung fu is not strong. I am sorry. Trek Reviewer says, wonder if in Strange New Worlds will we see an episode with Lynn Lariso, the captain from the episode The Trouble with Edward. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Good question. But possibly? I don't really care if they show her or not because, well, that would just canonize that episode, which would be horrible. Serving on the Enterprise as the chief science officer before Spock took that position. Oh, you're saying that's what she could be? I could kind of sort of see that, but I hope not. Wesley Crusher's in the house, says greetings to turds, birds, and nerds. Sci-Fi says you failed to protect Mrs. Antchecker. ID are here face when you turn. Yes, I know. Love the dedicated kill button. Yes, we do have a dedicated kill button. Darren wants to know, what did Mrs. Antchecker think of the Howling Man Twilight Zone episode?
I had already seen it, and I actually like it. It's really creepy, but it kind of was like a little intense for the Twilight Zone, in my opinion. But I do like it. I think it's a good episode.
And yeah, I was telling Darren that that he was asking. I hadn't watched his review of Howling Man yet, but I told him that you were watching Twilight Zone the other day, and we talked about it a little bit. How can you ruin turd? How can you ruin turd? I don't know. Hello. And Mrs. Anti-Trekker donated $1.
Did I?
Yes. You'll hear what it says.
If anyone tells people you saw my face, I will order the Turdistan military to hunt you down. Michael, you are in big trouble.
Okay, so am I in big trouble?
Well, you messed up my mystique there, honey.
No, oh, sorry. Great. Thanks, guys. So Thomas Potts did the Snyder cut of the Mrs. Anti-Trekker footage. Yes. Just have Mrs. Anti-Trekker wear a surgical mask. We should have done that.
Yeah.
Darth Maul says, it would be funny to have Bird flying and crashed intercut with collateral damage in Metropolis of Man of Steel and disaster movies. That would be a great super... That's not bad, yeah. Bird flying and crashing intercut with the damage from Man of Steel. That's not a bad idea. Tim says, it's not our fault.
It isn't. It's your fault.
Shut up.
It is.
It's their fault.
Nope.
There was a demand that you come up here.
Yeah, but then you should have taken precautions.
Well, I guess the channel's done. This will be the last live stream. No more. Because you guys are mad at me. Oh, well. And let's see. Alright. Waiting on the computer here. So, I do see some Space 1999 prints, but... yeah, I don't know how many... Some of these look like they may be good for printing. Some, I'm not so sure. Like this one on Thingiverse is not too bad. It looks like it breaks the eagle into several pieces. So I may download that one and check it out. But first things first, I got to get the Wrangler class done first, because that's more important. Now, Bird of Prey crashed in the USS Vengeance. Jeff says, it's my fault. It's always my fault. And Trigger, I'm taking the fall for you. See, it's Jeff's fault.
Okay.
So you accept that it's Jeff's fault?
No, it's your fault.
Well, thank you for trying, Jeff. Sci-Fi Sid says, I think you're going to sleep on the couch for that mistake. Wow. Wesley says, wait, what? Why are you mad at you now? What did you do, jerk? Well, when I turned to say something to Mrs. Anti-Trekker, you could see her face for a second. And so, you know, Mrs. Anti-Trekker's mad at you. See if there's any Star Fury 3D models. Well, I'm sure there are, but, you know, here's the thing. I don't want to print other people's models. I mean, granted... I might print them just for fun, but yeah, there's some decent Star Fury models out there. Trying to see. It's hard to tell which ones are good or not, but yeah, there's definitely some Star Furies out there. Which, I mean, Star Fury is a very well-designed ship. For those of you that don't know, that's the fighter from Babylon 5, but it's. But again, I don't want to just print other people's work. Wait, what? I already read that. Melfi said, I already read that. Tim says, no, not on your couch. You're going to sleep in Auntie's bed. Yeah, that would be the couch. Auntie pretty much always sleeps on the couch. Josh says, Antitrigger, let Mrs. Antitrigger choose for super chat. All right, so you get to choose another super chat.
Yeah, again, I don't know what the numbers are.
Well, but do you know which one you want? Like you picked one of the cereal ones the other day. You want the other cereal one?
No. I want that one with Feces and Lorehead and Bird.
Oh, okay. So that's... You see, you're making me go for the more expensive ones. I see how you are.
Well.
Let's see, I think...
I can't even see it over here.
Well, you can always look at my monitor.
Yeah, but then somebody's going to see my face.
No, they're not going to see you. I'm not turning around.
I don't trust you now.
And besides, when it's playing, there's nothing on the screen anyway.
Okay. Well, I don't see. I don't hear anything either.
That's because I'm trying to remember which one that is. Is that a Bird of Prey chat or is it a? Gotcha. No, that's that one. No, that's a special Klingon. That's the Geologian suit. Yeah, so that's just. Let's see. I want to see. No, super turds.
So you don't even know.
No, I always forget which one's which. There it is.
Spinning Spock has space dyslexia. Next on Six at World.
Laura, this sucks. Let's go get some money. Hi. I'm Feces. This is Lorehead. Can we have some money?
Feces? Loreface? What kind of names are those?
My name is Lorehead, sir. Lorehead. Like, my head is full of lore. Get it?
Yeah. And I'm Feces. You know, like poop.
Anyway, boys, I sure could use a hand from a couple of strong young lads.
Okay.
You see, I've been stuck in this dang old hospital bed for nigh about a decade now, and I can't adjust it quite right. Can you boys reach that lever under the bed?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. Just give it a nice hard yank.
Who said yank?
Yeah.
Hey, baby, come to Lorehead.
Laura, what are you doing with that lever? Come on, man, I want to turn.
Son of a bitch! You stupid kids, you don't ever listen. What the hell am I supposed to do now?
I don't know.
Damn it.
Now that is a classic.
I love those underwear that Joshua did. That's my favorite part.
Fun fact, that's actually what Bird of Prey 5's underwear looks like.
Oh, okay.
And let's see. So, Jeff says, Miss Antitrigger, how can Mr. Antitrigger make it up to you?
I'll think of something.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll tell you one of those stories he doesn't want me to tell you.
Jeez. Wesley says, I didn't see Miss Antitrigger's face, but I'm sure she's beautiful at least 1,000 times more than me. Well, that is absolutely true. Thomas says, Antitrigger, for a Bird of Prey 5 crash, you should use the audio of that video I sent during the subscriber stream. Oh, that would be good. For Bird of Prey, there was, oh man, I need to, let's see, did you send that on Skype? Let me see. I gotta, this was pretty good. I gotta find it here. No, it's not there. You must send it to me on Twitter. I'll check it out later. But yeah, that's a good one. Where Bird of Prey's like, oh yeah, we'll just gently land, and then he blows up. Just rewind and you'll see. Well, stop telling him to rewind so you can see your face. Trek Reviewer says, it would be interesting to see the first live-action incarnation of Captain or Admiral Robert April. I could see that, but I mean, since Robert April only appeared in the animated series, of course, and he was the original conceptual captain of the Enterprise, I wouldn't be opposed to it. That would be a character that actually would be kind of a cool Easter egg to meet. But I don't want to see, oh, look, we're going to have young Lieutenant Kirk, and look, we're going to have young Lieutenant Scotty, and all that. That I don't want to see. Star Furies get fighting in space right. Sort of, yes. They get, as far as the physics of a fighter in space, yes. It's as good as pretty much any show has done it. The Vipers in Battlestar Galactica come close to that as well. They do a good job with it. But at the same time, the whole concept of fighters in space is actually kind of silly. And I think I'm trying to think who it was. Oh gosh, someone I saw a video on this actually very recently. And Mortimus puts in $2. No comment, just the $2. Thank you so much, Mortimus. I appreciate it. And says, okay, how is it that you know what Bird of Prey underwear looks like? Sassy took a picture and sent it to us. Fun fact, Sassy is actually a Turtistani spy. But anyway, here's the problem. Yes, fighters in space don't make a lot of sense because combat in space would take place from a very long distance. So if you think about the way that combat works, the reason that, say, with biplanes and stuff in the early days of aviation, that dogfighting was such a big deal was that the weapons only had an effective range of a few hundred yards, right? And so the planes had to get very, very close to each other, and the whole trick was just get right on the other plane's tail and then shoot them, and that's how you won a fight. And so the whole dogfighting was, trying to outmaneuver the other guy. In the modern era, dogfighting doesn't exist, right? In the modern era, if you have two jet fighters, they're going to engage from 50, 100, 200 miles away, firing missiles at each other. They're never going to even see each other. And so it becomes less a matter of maneuverability and more a matter of who has the better ability to lock on to the other person. And in space, it's going to be even more because range becomes virtually unlimited. And so whoever can detect the other person first wins the fight every single time. Captain Trek says, Mrs. Antrekker is 9,999 times more beautiful. I'd say more than that, probably. That almost doesn't sound like Bird. Well, that was Bird, actually, that did that voice. And Mike says that 3D pivot was impressive. You're talking about with the Star Fury, yes. And also, one thing that they did very well with the Star Fury is putting the pilot right in the center of the ship. Not just in the center of the ship, like across the ship, because almost every cockpit is symmetrical and centered. But put him in the center so that as the ship pivots, the pilot doesn't move much. And that makes it so that the pilot could actually maneuver much better than if he were further forward or further back. Donnie says, I hope Peter Capaldi would play Commodore April in Strange New Worlds. That would be interesting. I never pictured Robert April as being English, but I think, wasn't that was the original concept, though, I think, wasn't it? Your honey-do list will be endless. That's probably true. Thomas says, send it to you on Twitter. Thank you, Thomas. I will dig that up. Robert April will be called Bob. He will be a trans male who identifies as a spaceship. I'm trying to be optimistic.
Hello, world.
And T-Berg puts in $5 Canadian. Thank you, T-Berg.
Has Mrs. Anti-Trekker seen any of the anti-Bird jibe jabs I posted?
I don't. Did you see any of the jib jabs that he posted on Discord?
No.
Nope. And so I know you're probably thinking, oh, wow, then, like, I know right where they are, but I don't know. Let's see. I assume, where did you didn't send them directly to me, right? You put them, like, in the general chat, in which case I wouldn't have an easy way to bring them up. But if you want to bring them up, or if you want to send me the link to them, then let me know. And of course, I'm not even on the right. Yeah, see, that's take me forever to find it. Anyway, I love the idea of Jeffrey Combs returning to Star Trek as Phil Boyce in Strange New Worlds. That Jeffrey Combs as Dr. Boyce, that would be interesting. I mean, his personality doesn't seem to really add up, but at the same time, Jeffrey Combs is such a chameleon, I think he could pull it off. So I wouldn't mind seeing Jeffrey Combs return as Dr. Boyce. John DeMarco says, greetings. T-Berg says they have registered songs. So, yeah, so got to be careful of that. I didn't realize that. I was talking about Joshua's plan of the mic. Pan of the mic cord. Oh, the pan of the mic cord. Okay, yeah. That was actually pretty impressive the way he did that. I was being optimistic, too. I don't think that he'll self-identify as a Klingork. Well, I'm trying to be more optimistic than you, put it that way. I thought fanboys hate Snyder. How's this a win? I actually like Snyder and his director's cut Batman v Superman, though. I think the Batman v Superman director's cut was pretty solid. I also didn't hate Batman vs. Superman like a lot of people did. I thought that Batman v Superman... The problem was it was a really good Batman movie wrapped around a really bad Superman movie. But overall, I enjoyed it. I just think that Superman, Zack Snyder didn't quite have the proper grasp of. Batman, I think he nailed it. So I wouldn't, that's why I would like to see the Snyder cut. I think it could be a lot better than what we got. I don't know if you heard about this, but you remember Zack Snyder was the original director of Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, and then he was directing Justice League, but he had to quit because of a family tragedy, and Joss Whedon came in and finished the movie. He had apparently done a 4-hour version of Justice League that was going to be dark and gritty like his last 2 movies, but then the studio said, nope, Joss, make it light and fun, and we ended up with the crap fest that was Justice League. So now HBO is going to get and release the Zack Snyder edition of Justice League.
Yeah.
So you tell Mrs. Antrager is very excited. Yes, there was a Dr. Phil Boyce before Dr. Phil McGraw. Yeah. And SC says, good analogy. I'm not sure which analogy that was because I use a lot of analogies. Darth Maul says, I just want good Trek again. Well, yeah, that's the thing. I would, people say, oh, well, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? I don't want anything specific except that I want it to feel like Trek. I want it to feel, Trek at its core is an optimistic view of man's future. And if we get that in Strange New Worlds, I will be happy. Hopefully, on top of that, we get some good news stories. I already like Anson Mount and Ethan Peck and all that, so I'm fine with that. But yeah, it's gonna be. It'll be. I just want it to be good. Batman did kill. I guess Batman did killed in his Golden Age comics. You're talking about the. Well, the funny thing about Batman killing. Because a few people die in Batman v Superman. Every single time people say, well, Batman doesn't kill. Basically, if you really believe that, then you've never seen a Batman movie, apparently. Because Batman every iteration of Batman except for the Adam West version killed. And in fact, if you want a massive murder count, Michael Keaton's Batman killed people more than any other variant of Batman, and yet nobody bitches about that. Everybody bitches about it now because they say, oh, but that's his one rule. Not in this version. Sorry, it's not this version. And the funny thing is, it's like Batman, the Christian Bale Batman, it's like, yeah, I have my one rule, right? And the thing is that, are you saying nobody died in those movies? You might want to go back and rewatch them. I don't have to kill you, but I don't have to save you. I posted a good meme in Discord, says Retro Lord. Not sure what you're talking about, but let's see. Let's see now. I hate when you guys say, oh, check Discord. So then I gotta go to Discord and see, what did you do? Where? I don't see it. Let's see. That's funny. What? Let's see. What was that? Oh, that's the. See, the problem is like the jib jab. I see you just sent me a jib jab on there, but I don't want to get in trouble. And so, like that looks hilarious, but yeah, featuring Billy Ray Cyrus. Yeah, that's a copyright strike waiting to happen. So I can show it to Mrs. Antricker after the stream, but I'm not going to play Billy Ray Cyrus on the stream. Sorry. SC says this new cut may be a 4 or 6 hour miniseries. I'm fine with that. I know that they did that with the Hateful Eight, and that's fine. And Retro Lord, I'm not 100% sure what you were talking about as far as what you posted on Discord. You must have shattered your pants after Shive's newest video. I don't know. I don't know what Shives is doing. I unsubscribed to him per his request. So I don't know what he's doing nowadays. Nor do I really care all that much. I mean, Shives, if he genuinely says, oh, if you disagree with me, unsubscribe, so I unsubscribe. Let's take a look. Steve Shives. So we'll go to his channel. I still can't believe the man has 100,000 subscribers. And videos. Is Starfleet actually the bad guy? Is his latest video. Well, that'll be, yeah, I'm sure it's wonderful. Truck Review says, do you think we could see the first primetime incarnation of George Kirk in the new series? We could, but I don't want to. Honestly, Trek Reviewer, that's the thing. I think that we don't need more and more and more of Easter eggs and tie-ins to why this person is related to that person or whatever. Do we really? We're gonna have Spock, we're gonna have Pike, we're gonna have Number One. We don't need to bring in everybody else. Let's see. Mortimer says, "Hey Trigger, is there a certain writer you trust to do Trek justice?" No. It's and that's the thing. It's not. It's honestly, we need a show, not a writer. First of all, the writers that CBS currently has under their employ are pretty much across the board suck. I mean, look at any contemporary CBS show; they're all the same show. They're not. CBS doesn't know how to hire writers. But what we need, first and foremost, is a solid showrunner. More than we need, because the showrunner directs the writers. The showrunner pushes the writers and says, no, this is not going to work, and fixes things. But we don't have that in Trek. Right now we have Alex Kurtzman, who's just like, yeah, let him say the F word. That's cool, And let's see. Casting Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor was miscast. Seemed like he was playing the Riddler, not Lex. I would say this. I actually, at the very end, when he lost the hair, was in the prison cell, I was like, oh, that could be Lex. But unfortunately, they, just didn't do anything with him. Christian Bale's Batman had missiles on the Batmobile. Like, what are they for? Yeah, they're just friendly, fun missiles. Retrolord, it's in pictures and memes. Okay. Well, let me see if I can find it. Hey, you guys in Discord. I'm not going to be spending all my time on Discord. Jeez. Alright, so we go to enter, and where is pictures and memes? I like it. Alright, so see if I can. I'm trying to move it without messing up. Okay, let's try that. There we go. So here we go. We got there are only two doctors I could trust to cure COVID. And we got House and the doctor from Voyager. Although I could think of a couple other doctors. So very good. Let's see. Shives is a fool if he said that. Wow. Well, I don't know. I haven't watched the video. I don't know if I will or not. Let the series stand on its own. Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. SC says, it's a good Shives vid in that I agree with his Trek breakdown, but not his politics. You should watch and rant during this stream. Okay. Well, maybe I will. I'm not going to do it during this stream because this stream's not going to be that long. We're going to wrap it up in a few minutes. Admiral Saval says, "Yo, Mike, you see, that's how I know I'm going to wrap it up in a few minutes, because Admiral Saval always shows up right when I'm getting ready to finish." Jeff says, "What did Shive say?" I don't know yet, but apparently he thinks that the Federation is the bad guy. If only Star Trek had pro wrestling in it. Any good Star Trek project, film, TV, etc. needs to be slowly, meticulously crafted ahead of its time. Well-vetted showrunner with a well-vetted writer's room for starters. Yes, but the first step is a well-vetted showrunner, and a showrunner that understands Trek and wants to make good Trek, not just wants to create their story. Oh, and you want me to do it with Star Trek? Okay, I can do that, because that's what we're getting. Bob Kane, Bill Figer's original version of the Batman to sidearm and executed criminals, who is a lot more like Marvel's Punisher in that regard. That's very true. That's why I say anybody that thinks the Batman doesn't kill, yeah, whatever. The 10th Doctor would cure us just like he did on New Earth. Okay, I'm not a Whovian, so I don't know that reference implicitly. Mortimer says, The Expanse is a great series. Who do you give credit for that success? Well, I can't remember the name of... do you remember what the name of the writer of the books is?
No.
Okay, but I would say first and foremost the writer of the Expanse novels, because he created the universe, and unlike Trek and Star Wars and stuff, he actually crafted the entire universe as a series of books, and then it got adapted to the series. And then, honestly, it was lightning in a bottle as far as the casting of some of these people. They obviously, and the thing about The Expanse is people say, well, wait a minute, why do you hate New Trek? The Expanse is dark and gritty. The Expanse isn't Trek. You know, and that's the thing. It's not that I hate dark and gritty. It's that Trek is not dark and gritty. It can go dark from time to time. It can get gritty from time to time. Everybody points to Deep Space Nine and says, yeah, there are some dark moments in Deep Space Nine. But you know what? Deep Space Nine also had a lot of light moments. A lot more light moments than dark moments. We remember, the siege of whatever the name of that stupid planet was, or In the Pale Moonlight, and we say, look how dark that is. And then we completely forget about the magnificent Ferengi, or the House of Quark, right? We completely forget about the fact that Deep Space Nine is as light a Star Trek show as any other. It just had some dark moments in it. And so instead we just focus in on the darkest episode of that series, In the Pale Moonlight, and say, see, look how dark this show was. Now that was one episode. T-Berg says, have some good laughs with Miss Antrekker on me. Now that you know why Jib Jam is banned in Kuroga. That would make sense. Yeah, I'll show it to you afterwards, babe. Okay. Star Trek did have pro wrestling in it. The Rock was in Voyager. Well, that's true. In the original Batman comics, he actually used guns. That is also true. I'm back, finally on lunch break. What did I miss? Well, not much. Thomas says, Burnham will find a cure. She's an expert on everything. Oh, man. You know, if they actually cut in something where they said, oh man, this is like when COVID-19 hit in 21st century Earth, I'm gonna just scream. Wesley says, I really want to get back into 3D modeling and make some ships for you. Well, Wesley, you're welcome to attempt it. I'm still attempting. Unfortunately, I've kind of hit the limit of what my computer can handle right now with this ship, and so it takes forever to do some stuff. I'm actually just been waiting for this stupid fuse to burn in. Takes forever. Don't forget Vic Fontaine. Yeah, Vic Fontaine, not a fan of. And Nightbreeze donates $1.
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky!
Don't be Ronry our hair hypnoterd.
She tried to say Ronry. She tried. Alright, so let's see if I can make this work. Alright. Let's go to countdown. There we go.
I'm so Ronry. So
Are you Ronry? Are you so Ronry, sitting at home watching Star Trek?
There's no one.
The way to cure your Ronriness is with the Hypnoturd. Give yourself to the Hypnoturd and you won't be Ronry anymore. Give yourself to the hypno-turd, you stupid whittle whore. You must give yourself to the turd. Because we all know that the turd is better than bird. Oh, pray 5, because that didn't rhyme.
There's nobody.
That's the best I could do with that one. All right, where was I? Thank you, Night Breeze. Man, I got completely lost. There's Rock. Oh, even on Deep Space Nine, darkness was still the exception? Yes, indeed, John. And that's the thing people do lose sight of. They think that Deep Space Nine was really a dark show, but it wasn't. Batman is an Arkham Knight going full speed if he could ram the Batmobile into bad guys, but somehow it only stuns them. Yeah, because, you know, running over somebody in a car at 60 miles an hour will stun them. And yeah. Enter Arma. I can never pronounce that crap. You're hurting me. DS9 is most difficult for me to get into, but once I got past season 1, it was one of the best. Really worth it. One of my favorites. Cisco kicked ass. Cisco was awesome. I loved Cisco. He was like, to me, Cisco is what Kirk would have been if Kirk were invented in the 90s. For example, if I just watched the episode Explorers where Cisco builds a solar sail ship, it was very optimistic. Oh yeah, there's a lot of that in there. And it, you know, that's the thing. It's like people lose sight of it. Sounds like Sheldon's nemesis from Big Bang Theory. Oh yeah, kind of for that stupid accent. Kripke, yes. I hated Kripke. John, that was one of the best DS9 episodes. Says Tesseract really captured the explorer spirit Star Trek is all about. Yes, but you know, here's the thing. People confuse. They think that exploration is what Trek is about. It's really just about optimism. It doesn't, like, Kirk was more of a soldier than an explorer. But TOS was an optimistic show. Picard was more of an explorer. And Next Gen was an optimistic show. But then Cisco was a soldier again, and DS9 was an optimistic show. But then Janeway was more of a scientist, and Voyager was an optimistic show. A little too optimistic considering the subject matter. And in Enterprise, Archer was an explorer, and it was an optimistic show. So what do you know? Then you get to Discovery, and Michael Burnham is a self-righteous prick, and it's not optimistic. So yeah. That scene where Cisco punches out Q and Q's like, I'm not, and it's like, I'm not Picard. Epic, yes. Oh, you know, see, and that's the thing. There are only 2 Federation captains that ever punched out omnipotent beings, and that is Cisco and Kirk. And Kirk broke Trelane's sword. So. And Q never showed up on Deep Space Nine again. That's true. And you know what? Trelane never had the balls to mess with Kirk. So, you know, I think there's a pattern developing there. Picard was a good captain, but a mean stepfather, always yelling at me. Yeah, Wesley. Well, shut up, Wesley. You know, there's a reason that's a thing. Ah, shoot, I did it wrong. But actually, that's kind of cool the way that came out. I might have to keep it that way. I kind of like that. And Night Breeze puts in $1. Thank you, Night Breeze. And says number 27. I don't even remember which one number 27 is, but we'll find out in a second. Hello, world.
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky.
I don't know. Did it not play right? I was laughing at this thing that Ebony just sent me a meme. Let me try it again. Let's try it. It's like just sitting there. All right, let me try. Hold on. 29, 28, 27, and Hey, Joshua, I just want to make sure you knew I had a new super chat idea for you. Hey,
Oh, no more super chats, you bastard!
Stop hiding people's faces to avoid lip sync. So, yeah, sorry, I don't know why I was freezing on there, but although I was a little distracted because the auntie daughter just sent me this, and just perfect timing. It is. I love it. Absolutely love it. All right, so Desiree says, what program are you using to model? Is that Blender? It is Blender. This is Blender 2.8. I wish I had a little bit more memory. That would make this go a lot smoother. But it's actually 2.8 Blender is such an improvement over the earlier versions, because yeah, I really hated Blender for a long time, and now I actually kind of like it. Nightbreeze broke the anti-computer. No, it wasn't Nightbreeze's fault. I don't know why it wasn't loading properly. But anyway, Life with Matthew is here. Says, good evening, A-Tricker and fellow turds. Hey, Life with Matthew. I watched a little bit more of your live stream from last night. You guys were crazy, man. What happened? Are you okay? I'm really worried about you, man. I'm genuinely worried about you because, yeah, you did some stupid things there, but yeah. So yes, Life with Matthew absolutely went nuts last night, in case you were wondering what I'm talking about. Anyway, so yeah, we're getting close to getting this ship completely done. We're basically molding it together into a single piece for printing, and so this is the main hull, and then the nacelles will be broken into a few pieces as well, and so hopefully I'll have a test print done this weekend. That's my goal. And Nightbreeze puts in another buck and says, let the chat decide. All right, so first person to put something in there wins, because I don't have a lot of time. And Nightbreeze, there's the Nightbreeze chat there. Thank you again. Tim Christ says, the unknown is what brings us out here. We aren't just trying to answer questions. We're searching for new questions. We're explorers. We explore our lives every day. Yes, he was telling that to the wormhole aliens. And Wesley was first with number 15. So you got it, Wesley. Little lore reloaded action.
Sir, we are being hailed. On screen. What is your problem?
I am lore.
Do you need help?
I have a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Lore Reloaded.
Let me guess, the rubber band broke, right?
I make YouTube go.
Ah, yes. Lore Reloaded makes YouTube go. So, we're not going to wrap it up there. So, Mrs. Nighttrigger, anything to say before we wrap up?
I'll tell a story.
Uh-oh.
Here's my story. It's not a bad one. It's actually a good one about you. I think it was back when I was 20 and I was really sick. Do you remember that one?
I don't know specifically where you're going with
I was
it,
really, really sick, and I just was feeling so horrible that Auntie Trekker offered to go to the store for me, and the store was like 12 blocks away from our house, right? Safeway.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So I think it was about 12 blocks away, and he ran the entire way to the store, got me some orange juice, got me some NyQuil, and then he ran all the way back, and on the way there, he ran into some of the Portland Trail Blazers.
Oh, okay, yes. Clyde Drexler. Right?
Yeah, and Clyde had dropped his wallet getting out of the car, and so Auntie Trekker picks it up and gives it back to them, and he says, hey, man, come have a drink with us. And he turned them down so he could come and bring me my medicine and my orange juice. And when he got up and told me that, I told him he was stupid and he should have gone. I was like, you idiot, you could have brought me this stuff later. But that's a story.
That's true, yeah. So Clyde Drexler was getting out of his car and he dropped his wallet. And so I saw it, picked it up, gave it to him. And we, at the time, we lived in an apartment that was directly above a bar that was actually it's still a registered landmark. The building is like over 100 years old, and this bar is a very well known place, and the Trailblazers would go there after home games, and they had just finished a home game, and I don't even know if they won that night, to be honest with you. But yeah, Clyde asked me to come in, which Clyde Drexler, for those of you that don't know, if you didn't follow basketball back in the 1990s, Clyde Drexler was almost Michael Jordan. And when I say that, Clyde Drexler was literally the second best player in the NBA, right behind Michael Jordan.
I agree, absolutely.
And in fact, the Blazers and the Bulls went head-to-head multiple times, and they were very, very evenly matched. But yes. What?
Who or what is a Trail Brazzers?
That's Wesley. Just being a jerk. But Darth Maul's right. I'm a good man and a great husband. I'll take that.
Yeah, we weren't even married at that point.
All right, so with that, there you go. You got an official Mrs. Anti-Trekker story. I'm sure she has some that are less flattering, though. And so you guys take care. What's up, basketball? Whatever.
Making your way with the nerds today takes everything.
So thank you. I forgot to unmute because I wanted to say, so Tim Christ said that I thought Magic Johnson was a close second. Magic Johnson was a great player, but Magic Johnson actually was at his peak just before Michael Jordan and Clyde Drexler. And so that was really, if you look at during that time, Michael Jordan and Clyde Drexler were the best two players. And in fact, in the first Dream Team, the two of them were played together, and it was like really cool to see that. And Admiral Small puts in $1.99. Wants to see the day disco died. Absolutely. And I know I was muted. I unmuted it, so quit saying that I'm muted. I know there's a delay, so blah blah blah. But let's get Disco Death in there. Ah, yes, the classics.
Thing you've got, taking a break from hating JJ sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to just get laid? Sometimes you wanna go where all the Trekkies know your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be in a galaxy where Star Trek isn't lame. You wanna go where everybody knows your name. Turds of a feather flock together, that's what we believe. We know a place that's got you covered, a place to get relief. Wouldn't you like to say me Pooh? Sometimes you wanna go where Turnistenes know your name, and all Kurogans are to blame. You wanna be where you can see Kuroga go up in flames. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
You son of a bitch, anti-tracker!